Hello, this is Melissa Morris, and I'm going to start talking about color today. So we have a couple of references. So let's say we wanted to color this or paint this leaf here. The first thing we'd have to do is sort of develop its color profile. So think about first, what color is it? So I have a little cad medium here and a little Hansa yellow. So I can start mixing those together. And what you want to do is just look at it right up against the piece to see if it is the local color. So yes, that looks pretty close to that color. So there's a little bit of that. Now this color changes into a greenish color, and there's some transition. So what I like to do is just slowly add bits of green. So I'm adding a little bit of viridian green, just to sort of see the transition or get some more variety in the color that I'm picking. Again, I'm just doing a little teeny dab of green, slowly incorporating it into this yellow that I've created, just so that I can get the variety of this color in the leaf. You can see there's a little bit of this in there. And then again, maybe even a little bit more of this green. And this green that I just mixed is actually a little bit too intense in regards to everything that's happening on that piece. So how would I change that? Just go into its complement. So I'm going to add a little bit of red. That's the color across the wheel. Colors that are across from each other on the color wheel are complements. So then I can start talking about this sort of more neutral color that is in the piece, that is in this leaf. So I have a little bit of a profile now, a color profile of this leaf. There's also this little reddish purplish line, so I might even go a little bit more with this red. And now I have the red of that, the outside of that leaf, the reddish brown of the leaf. And if you really look in the tail of this leaf, there is a little bit of purple. So I would go in and add just a little bit of purple into this reddish brown color we have. I'm going to go add a little bit more magenta. And that now gives me the color of the stem and some of the other details that are in the leaf. So these are the actual hues that are present in this leaf. Now let's talk about the value. So let's take that first yellow again, so a little cad and a little bit of Hansa yellow is what we decided for the first piece. And what we're going to do is then think about it. So yes, there's this color in there, but what if we wanted to go a little lighter? We do that by adding just a little bit of white that's going to tint the color, make it lighter, so you can now see there's a lighter value of that color. And then if I want to go even lighter, I just add a little bit more. And then that will also go a little lighter. And so you can play with some of the values that you see in the piece to make it more realistic. Now what if we want to go darker? So again, let's start with that cad medium and the Hansa yellow together. Making that first color, check to make sure it's the same, and it is. How do we make this now darker? I like to go in just a little pinch of black. Now, yellow is a transparent color, especially Hansa yellow, so you have to go slow with this, the black, because it will change quite dramatically very quickly. And so you can see there's just a slight difference there, because I've just added just a little pinch. Again, you can see how some of that relates back to the piece. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more. Oops, see how much I did there? There's so much. Now that definitely is a jump too much. So what happens, and don't just go and use it, take some of that yellow so you can bring it back so that it's the next step in that color getting darker. And then we can go and get that first color we did, that too dark color, and be able to mix that to create the next level of darkness. And of course you could go all the way to black. So creating different values of the color hue family that we've discovered. So now let's talk about if we wanted to make it duller. So lighter, darker, and then what if we want to make some of the colors that we see in an object duller or brighter? So now right out of the tube is going to be the most vibrant. Even as I mix a yellow into these two yellows together, I'm already breaking down their intensity. So right out of the tube is going to be the most intense. Now say I want to break this down, make it not so intense. Now again, yellow is a transparent color. Adding any color to it is going to change it dramatically. So you have to do it very delicately. So again, I'm just adding a little bit of this little purple just to break down the intensity so it's not as intense. See, that's very intense, that's duller. We'll go again in just a little pinch of that purple. You have to do it delicately. It also does make it darker. Purple and blues are darker colors naturally, and yellows and oranges are lighter colors naturally before you add any white or black to them. So by adding purple to the yellow, I'm naturally also making it darker. So that may be something you can play with. Instead of using black, you could always add a complement if it's a darker complement to make it darker and duller. All right, and I think we have room for one more pinch of this color. Might be a little too dark, so I'm just going to bring a little bit more of that yellow in there. There we go. So by mixing its lightness, its darkness, and also its intensity or dullness, you can create colors that are more similar to what you see in real life. You can also play with your colors to get them more specific. For instance, you see a green, you could go in with a green, and this green is pretty intense. It's not relative to the color I see, so it's more yellowy. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. And let's see how that does. Now that's a little bit more relative, except that the color in here seems a little lighter. So I'm going to add just the tiniest bit of white. Now you can see there's a difference with the little tiny bit of white. And also it seems slightly dulled. So I'm going to add just the tiniest bit of red. Tiniest bit, another little dab. And that now has a nice sort of natural leaf-like color to it. So you can see just by slowly adding different colors and playing with complements and also with white and black, you can become more and more true to an object's local color. And eventually you would be able to paint the leaf or whatever it is that you're trying to create from your different values, hues, temperatures, and intensities. Thanks for watching. See you soon.